Today we'll be looking at the 7 reasons why using TikTok can have negative effects on the female mental health. If you've been trying to learn more about whether scrolling on TikTok hurts your mental health or not, then this one's for you. TikTok is a social content creation platform that has been taking the world by storm for the past few years. Starting out under the name musical.ly, the video posting platform managed to evolve and gain a wider audience than anybody could have ever imagined. Now, the social media platform is home to many content creators and business owners alike. But just like everything else, TikTok has a darker side too. Which is why throughout this video, we will be sharing the 7 reasons why TikTok is not good for female mental health. But before we get started, please remember to take a quick second and support our content by liking, subscribing, and turning the post notification bell on. This helps us create more videos like this for your entertainment. If you're all set, then let's get down to the reasons why TikTok takes a toll on the female mental health. It spreads misinformation and therefore triggers phobia. While it may be baffling to think that promoting false knowledge helps people make money, this is the dark and sad truth of TikTok and many other social media platforms that lure users into spending their hours on scrolling through content that was created under false pretenses. TikTok is an open platform, and anybody who is past the legal age of 18 could acquire an account with a few simple steps. However, this does not stop underage users from violating TikTok's terms of usage, with such a vast variety of people creating and publishing content on the platform. Therefore, it is nearly impossible for every piece of content you see to be 100% factual or accurate. This is a danger to women who easily fall into mental traps and find themselves worrying about every little thing they read on the internet. Women who suffer from anxiety could take these false pieces of information into account and believe them to be real. This can cause frantic episodes and even severe panic attacks and lead to a decrease in a woman's mental well-being. It is a minefield of bullies if you are in with the wrong crowd. Social media may be all the rage, especially in the modern era. However, it is not exactly one of the safest places on the internet. While most people use social media to relax, some people use this platform to project their own issues and inferiorities onto other people. These accounts can belong to people who operate bots, or even worse, they can belong to cyberbullies. Bullying does not only happen in real life. In the age of digital living, bullies have taken their toxic powers to social media platforms, and TikTok does not happen to be an exception. A lot of people, especially a huge portion of the audience section, seem to be okay with making comments that include slut-shaming, body-shaming, and name-calling. People who are on the bullying end of things could easily hide behind their phone screens and call it a day. However, for the women on the receiving end of things, this is a huge problem, especially for women who are combating with already existing mental health conditions. Comments that entail cyberbullying could be incredibly stressful. Even if people do not have pre-existing mental health issues, they can develop conditions such as acute stress, depression, anxiety, and PTSD, which could result in giving traumatic responses to every notification tone. This is extra hard on women, with men and boys threatening to expose or even harm them. It affects and triggers sufferers of attention deficit disorder by appealing to a shorter attention span. Attention deficit disorder is a condition that affects sufferers' abilities to focus on certain things that might even include day-to-day tasks that seem extremely normal to the outsider eye. However, many people who have been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder find it hard to get through basic, everyday living. While TikTok is not the only culprit, and certainly not the reason why this disorder came around in the first place, it does not exactly help people who suffer from this condition. Women who suffer from attention deficit disorder or even attention deficit hyperactivity disorder will often find it hard to keep up with their productivity levels. What is even worse is that women who suffer from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder could use TikTok as a means to stop their fidgeting, therefore making their condition worse without knowing it. As technology gains prominence in people's everyday lives, the overall attention span of women keeps on showing a significant decline. TikTok manages to stay afloat by appealing to this kind of short attention span. But what most women fail to realize is that this addiction does nothing other than dragging them down. It cuts back on your productivity and therefore hinders your mental health progress. It is not a secret that the biggest enemy and threat to the notion of productivity is wasting time. So we probably do not have to tell you that routine users of TikTok often find their scrolling habits turning into an addiction that wastes a great chunk of their time. In the blink of an eye, this video content platform could easily transform into a black hole that swallows your hours up before you could even begin to notice. While mindless scrolling can be nice and easy on the mind from time to time, there is a rightful place and time for stepping back from your duties to yourself. However, if you find yourself straying from your path and your progress with your mental health, then it is a pointer sign of your scrolling habits becoming more and more dangerous. One of the biggest negative side effects of TikTok is that it generates a lot of screen time. This screen time comes from vulnerable users that find themselves at a point where they think their mental health hangs from a string that is tied to scrolling on social media. While the extensive usage of the app is great for business and therefore great for TikTok, it is not equally great for users of the platform. And a majority of these users are women from all across the globe. As women start taking time away from their self-growth, they also start to crawl into an invisible cave of misery and setbacks. They abandon their progress and start living vicariously through online content, and this sadly results in a decline of their mental health and self-control. The internet is a free and open space for self-expression, which is why so many people are using social media as a means of having their voice heard by millions of fellow users. Naturally, this results in the creation of millions of different opinions, but some people manage to group under one roof, or rather, one idea, and defend it as a band. While this may seem like a good idea for individuality and accountability at first, it can turn into something oh so toxic in the blink of an eye. There is division and conflict on a number of different subject matters, ranging from what might happen in the next episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians to which political party should be reigning supreme in the country. Most people on the internet thrive on conflict and would do anything to start some. This includes dividing people into separate groups with separate ideals and then setting them against one another. When you look at it from this point of view, you can see it clearly that TikTok helps negative cliques form around hot topics of disagreements. Therefore, TikTok becomes an outlet of hate and division, making social media a not-so-safe place to express your individually unique opinions. Women seem to be the worst victims of these types of situations. Sadly, the toxic male-dominant culture that has ruled the world for years in the past has not died completely, especially not on the interwebs. People target women most during such arguments and rebuttals to said arguments. And being subject to a high level of hate often results in the targeted women experiencing mental health conditions such as depression and low-value behavior. Therefore, it becomes a danger to their mental health on a bigger scale. It has been known to showcase eating disorders. All platforms of social media seem to be full of eating disorders, whether that is in the form of obesity or anorexia. This is a culture that became all the more prominent with the rise of mukbangs, videos where people would sit down and eat, film themselves while eating, and post it on social media. While this trend was bigger on the internet some years ago, it still lives on. Some people film themselves while eating loads of junk food, whereas others take the exact opposite approach and do supermodel diets that promote malnutrition. There is no in between. People seem to be promoting unhealthy eating habits one way or another just to create trends on TikTok and fulfill their influencer duties without caring so much about what happens to their audience. This both directly and indirectly promotes unhealthy habits in young women, and many people lose their lives trying to fit into the image of a hot and beautiful influencer with millions of followers while completely ignoring their own mental health and how it affects their body. In this way, TikTok is harmful to women both physically and mentally unless it is used to an extent that is purely restricted to entertainment purposes. Another side effect of there being many an influencer promoting unrealistic expectations and lifestyles for most people is that it encourages negative comparison between women. Seeing so many young women and successful people who continuously alter their appearances to get that ideal model look, all cooped up in your teeny tiny phone screen, can hardly be a pleasant experience. Even though many women fail to realize this, the mere action of scrolling through TikTok and seeing those allegedly perfect influencers with their beauty filters can be a one-way ticket to anxiety and, in some extreme cases, a mental health disorder called body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is a condition where an individual hyper-focuses on a part of their body so much that they start to notice negative aspects of it that are not actually there. TikTok often promotes this underhandedly by rolling out beauty filters and favoring certain creators with their algorithm. In short, TikTok pushes women to become something that they are mentally and physically not apt to be, which results in long-lasting damage on the individual's mental health. And that marks the end of our video on how TikTok manages to take a toll on female mental health. If you enjoyed watching this, then be sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Want to be the first to know when we have a new video? Then turn on the bell to be notified every time we upload one. Finally, if you're looking for something to binge on, you can click on the video that's currently on your screen. We'll see you in our next video.